Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another video full of, yay, World of Tanks gameplay, hurrah! In this one we're going to have a look at some higher tier heavy tanks sporting some seriously thick armour. Kicking off proceedings with Isla. He is driving the Type 4 Heavy. This is the tier 9 Japanese heavy tank, and I feel I should point out this is from patch 9.17, so this is before Wargaming went around and buffed an assortment of super heavies, notably the Type 5 and the Mouse. So Isla here is using the 140mm gun, 600 alpha, 249 penetration. If he decides to fire a bit of premium ammunition, that penetration jumps from 249 to 282. And, of course, being a very large caliber gun, the HE rounds don't suck. But this match is not going to be about the gun. He's here on Kampanovka, everyone's favourite map, and it is a tier 9 match, so he is top tier, which is helpful. Takes a pot shot at the enemy light tank, that VK2801, but no dice. This gun is many things accurate, not really among them. And continues to drive up the wonderful hill. Now there's no artillery in this match, Bedoin. Which is nice. So there's that. And of course, being a 9.17 replay, artillery can still do a lot of damage. This is before artillery got considerably reworked. Same for the light tanks, so we have tier 6 light tanks in this tier 9 match. VK2801 and the, well, friendly VK2801. And of course, the AMX and the Bulldog on both teams, the tier 7 lights, are match made as if they're tier 8 tanks, so bear that in mind. Anyway, Isla has finally made it to the top of this hill. So far the most eventful thing that's happened is, well, he got shot by a Jagdtiger and it bounced. Jagdtiger 88, I feel I should point out. Got a smaller gun, but still. So there's that. With no artillery in this match, and honestly, with a lack of big tank destroyers, I mean, the tank destroyers on the enemy team are tier 8. Don't get me wrong, the Jagdpanther 2 and the T28 prop both have around 250 penetration. And if they want to load premium, then that kind of goes 300 plus. But there's no Jagdtigers, regular Jagdtigers I mean. There's no tier 9 waffle throwers, there's not an Object 704. There's not the really big tank destroyers that you really need to be careful of and can make a horrible mess of your armour. Isla bounces that shot, and bounces another shot. Not particularly surprising, you can bounce 90mm guns with the frontal armour on this tank. But there's not really much point in him trying those shots anymore. I mean, it was a hull down Jagdtiger 88, it was quite a small target as it was at long range, and this gun is not accurate, so that was unlikely to really do a great deal of much. Hello, Mr. E75. Can Isla find his lower plate? The ground eats that one. But like I said, this match isn't about the gun or the damage. This match is all about that thing that Isla is currently doing. Bouncing things on his face. Finally some damage, 644 into that T32, and when you finally hit with this gun, it does hurt. It's not quite as painful as the 15cm gun on the E75, but it still leaves a mark. Isla's gun has been damaged for the second time this match. That was an incredibly lucky snapshot, straight into the lower front plate of the E75. And of course, because this is a patch 9.17 replay, the consumables are not on cooldown, they are on use them and then they are gone mode. Yay! Tractor T69, hurrah! Currently up to 5,250 damage, blocked by his armour, by the way. Feel I should just point that out there. T32 done goofed and manages to move the VK away from him and then turns his turret and then dies anyway, so who really cares? T69 still away in the distance behind something. E75 still there. That's never going to penetrate in a million years. Nope. Nope. And it looks like people have gotten bored and have started spamming Isla with high explosive. Woohoo. So, scoreline is 4-3. There's some more HE. 79 damage from that E75. 128 mil HE OP. Please nerf. The friendly team lose their T28 prototype, unfortunately. And in this situation, Isla is struggling to push onwards because, well, he might get shot in the side, and that would be bad. And honestly, at this point, I think I'd have loaded high explosive, because he's never going to pick out the weak spots on that E75 from this range with a damaged gun. But he might be able to derp these guys, and with a 14cm gun, the derp kind of hurts. Can he go for the lower front plate on this fellow? Oh, nicely done. Pretty sure Isla's having more luck with this gun when it's damaged than when it was fully working. But hey, what you gonna do? Don't mind him, he's bouncing more people. And that one goes into his tracks. Hello, Mr. T28 Pro, and that one bounced, which is kind of annoying. Scoreline is 5-5. Oh, 233 from a HE round that time from the E75. And again, I think I'd have loaded high explosive quite a long time ago, because of this damaged gun. No, no, not more damage. Ohs, noes. Right, going for the lower front plate on the E75. Oh, can we reload? Can we reload? Come on, get some damage in, and hits the upper front plate. There we go. And Isla's tracked here. He doesn't have a repair kit, so he can't put the track back on unless his crew does it. Yay! And even if they do, he's pretty well angled here, hence he's able to bounce all of these shots. There goes the T28 Prot. There goes the E75. Scoreline is now 9-7, and Isla's got his track back. Hurrah! Onwards we go. There's the Jagdpanther 2, who has been spamming Isla with high explosive ammunition. Nonetheless, let's just push into him. There's also a Tiger down there somewhere who really is of no concern at all. A Jagdtiger 88 who is also not of any concern. A T69 who's only going to be a problem if he gets around the sides or rear of this tank, and so Isla can freely just like push into these guys and make them regret their life decisions. Jagdpanther 2, more bouncing here. I am actually surprised the Jagdpanther hasn't had more joy penetrating Isla's tank here. A lot of people tend to just, well, load up the APCR when they're failing to penetrate. This guy, it appears, is not doing that, which is nice, I guess. Yeah, more track damage. Hull down Jagdtiger 88, pretty sure that ain't going to work, but you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, I guess. And now Isla decides to go for the high explosive round. There goes his tracks again. And so he's just going to slowly start derping these guys to death with any luck. Starting with that Jagdtiger. There we go, 181. I probably wouldn't have aimed right at the gun mantlet there, but then again, with a damaged gun, I mean, yeah, go figure. And more shots being bounced here. Can we pick out the Jagdtiger? Here we go. There we go. 265 into the Jagdtiger. Still can't really move anywhere. But you know, what you're going to do. And some friendlies are hopefully eventually going to come up and support Isla here. Isla going for the HE round on the Jagdpanther 2, and it misses, because of course it does. T69 is a viable shot now, and would actually be a kill, most likely. He's only got 136 health remaining. Oh, Jagdpanther 2, you has made a mistake. Hello, my friend. There we go, 90 health remaining. And Isla's just gently chipping these guys away as they desperately try and scratch the front of this tank by spamming high explosive at him. Well, you spam high explosive at me, I spam high explosive at you. Bye-bye. There goes the T69 as well. And it's just this Tiger and the Jagdtiger. It's just this Tiger remaining. 352 health. This is where an AP round might be preferable, but Isla's got HE loaded and the guy's dead anyway. And that is the match. Let's go and have a look at the stats. So that match was Second Class Mastery, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Shellproof, is that Cool-Headed? It is indeed, and a Steel Wall for Isla there in the Type 4. Finished third on his team by experience done. Well done to the T54 Lightweight and the M41 Walker Bulldog. 3,087 damage done, 2 kills, 1,000 base experience. But that's not really what we're interested in. We're interested in the 12,310 damage blocked by his armour, and that is not including all of those lovely shells that did minimal damage or no damage because they were high explosive and maybe they hit his tracks and whatnot. So the amount of damage Isla absorbed with his tank was much higher than that, but the amount of damage purely blocked by his armour was 12,310, which is redonkulous. 66 hits received, 4 penetrated, and most of those were just HE rounds knocking his tracks off, and 62 bounced. 62. At tier 9. That's ridiculous. 792 assistance damage, but we were here for the bouncing, I'll be honest. There we go. A nice win for Isla there in his Type 4 Heavy, a tank I don't think I have featured on this channel yet. Let's move on with the show. Match number 2 then, and we are moving up from tier 9 to tier 10, and this is the IS-7 brought to us today by Tanker 3069. Those of you who've been with the channel a little while might recognise that name. I have showcased his replays before. Generally, he does seem to like driving his Soviet heavy tanks, though I've also, I believe, shown a replay of his where he was in a T-44. So, we are here on... No, I was about to say Sand River. It's El Haluf, not Sand River. Tier 10 match, obviously. The IS-7 is a tier 10 machine. This is not a spoiler. Right at the beginning of this match, things are going to go hideously wrong for Tanker. Like, really badly wrong. And the rest of the game he's going to be trying desperately to pick up the pieces. So this is going to be much more about whether or not he is able to physically pick up those pieces than anything. So IS-7 actually apparently going to be buffed, which is interesting. Now, to be fair, a lot of people argue that with the changes to the mouse and the Type 5 Heavy and all that the IS-7 has rather been left a little bit in the dust. And I would say, firstly, that might be the case. I'm not sure. I haven't played the IS-7 much. I don't own one. When I did play it, oh hello friends. When I did play it, it seemed okay, but that was before the insane buffs, I think. And here, by the way, Tanker is just side on to these guys, and it's all going hideously wrong. But I would argue there are probably tanks that require buffing attention more than the IS-7. But also, does it mean the IS-7 is a bit lackluster now, or maybe that things like the Type 5 Heavy and the mouse are a bit overbuffed? I don't know. Anyway, like I said, everything goes hideously wrong. Tanker is left with 379 health, though, to be fair, things didn't go as horrendously wrong as they did for that E100, who just got vaporized. If you're playing El Haluf and you want to cross that section of the map there, you do have to be aware that the enemy team might object, and if they object forcefully enough, that's going to be a problem. M103 there away in the distance. Tanker does have to be a little bit careful. Frontally, the M103 can penetrate Tanker's lower front plate. Of course, the M103, the problem it has is the entire turret roof and commander's hatch are made of cheese. I could penetrate that with my pinky, and he's hideously over-angling there, which also doesn't help. For anyone who's interested, this 130mm gun has just shy of 250 penetration with regular armor piercing rounds, and 490 alpha damage. It is essentially the same as the 128mm gun found on the mouse, and oh dear, that was a high explosive round from the E100. Oh, that's... Now, I don't know for sure, but it's quite unusual to see people fire high explosive like that, unless they're not a terribly good player. And the E-100, I mean, the high explosive from the E-100 is not a terrible ammunition choice, depending on the situation. But I would be willing to bet that perhaps that E-100 was not the best player in the world. But the fact that he may well have another high explosive shell loaded means that actually, for Tanker in this particular scenario, he's a big problem. So we have to bear that in mind. However, the E-100 has moved on, meaning that Tanker isn't going to have to immediately deal with him. He just has to deal with all the rest of them. Hello M103, that was another... you weren't even angling your armour at all there. It wasn't over-angling, that was just derping hard. E-100 also coming out sideways on. Don't understand that. You grind your way up to tier 9 or tier 10 and you haven't learned that the strong armour is at the front. Go figure. Go figure. Anyway, Tanker is trying to get the Conqueror to fall back. He's not eyeing up his backside for a sneaky shot, honest. But Conqueror seems content to take on an E-100. On his own, sure, let's see how that works out for you, buddy. I mean, he can, especially if the E-100 isn't very good, but if you can get some assistance doing it, why not? And understandably, Tank here isn't massively keen to move forwards and have the rest of his health removed. That would be rather suboptimal. So he's just trying to ambush this E-100 if the guy would poke his nose out just a little. There we go. Shot looked like it actually went through the turret front, so this might be Tanker firing APCR ammo. Because of Wargaming's Genius replay system and updates and whatnot, we can't actually see the ammunition that Tanker is firing here, so I don't know for sure if it's premium ammo or not. I can tell you that in the replays I've seen from Tanker before, he is not in the habit of just spamming APCR everywhere. But in this scenario, he might be thinking, it's an E-100, which is quite heavily armoured, and I don't have much armour. Let's just try and make sure that these shots count. And I can't massively blame Tanker for that, if that is what he has decided. Jagdpanzer E-100, if these are premium rounds, they would potentially be able to go through the Jagdpanzer superstructure, but as it is, they hit at a bad angle and it just bounces anyway. So M103 is now a one-shot for most people. Tanker's taking a little bit of a risk here. Didn't want to get shot in the side. He's angled his armour now though, using the E-100 wreck for some cover. The upper front plate on the IS-7 is very strong, and the turret is made of purest Soviet bullshitanium, so that's fine. I'm pretty sure he is firing APCR here though, as he did manage to... I'm not sure if that was go through the turret or the commander's hatch of that ML2. Either way, not a very easy shot to pull off. Leopard prototype over there, no shot. Tanker's kind of reluctant. Oh, hello, Mr. E75. And there's your lower front plate. Kind of reluctant to leave the reassuring cover of this E-100, and for that, I can't really blame him, to be honest. It's a nice position for an IS-7 to be in with that redonkulous turret front. So I can't blame him at all. WZ-111 and the Conqueror have both moved forward, which seems to be an interesting choice of move, because if that ML is reloaded with his hilarious gun depression and good turret armour, he could pop over a ridge and start ripping them apart from the side. As it is, the ML decides to go elsewhere. Leopard prototype is still over there, and with these guys now looking the other way, it's entirely possible that the prototype is going to try and take advantage and see if he can execute some of these fellas. Wouldn't really blame him if that's what he did decide to do. He's gone round the side. Is he using the 90mm gun? That is the 90mm gun that you get on the Indian Panzer. Oh, worth a pun. Unlucky there. Very unlucky. Tanker decides to take a bit of a risk here, though, and just move back the way he came. Jagdpanzer E-100 was moving, so was not looking this way, and yeah, Tanker, you really don't want to turn around and try and deal with that Jagdpanzer. Instead, yes, kill the Emil, kill it with fire. Emil dead. Scoreline is 10-10, by the way. So still over here, we have got the Leopard prototype and the Jagdpanzer E-100. The IS-7 was last spotted over by the friendly artillery. The Tier 9 waffle thrower was last spotted camping. No surprises there. Shot into the Leopard, nicely done. And of course, there's still the enemy artillery somewhere who we have not spotted. But for the immediate threats, the Leopard, the Jagdpanzer, and, to be fair, the artillery is an omnipresent threat. Oh, the enemy by S7. Speaking of artillery, just got derped in the face by the friendly artillery, so yay. Ooh, waffle thrower. Never mind, the immediate threat just changed. Now, this is a little bit risky. Can we shoot the waffle thrower? Come on, come on, come on. Nah, it's not a very accurate gun. I say a little bit risky because if Tanker were to get spotted out here, the waffle thrower does get a pretty good amount of penetration on that gun, assuming he's using the 128mm gun. That 270 pen, I think, is the same gun essentially as you get on the Jagdtiger. There we go. Oh, a little replay bug there. If he's using the 15cm gun, the penetration isn't as high, but, well, higher alpha damage, and I guess he could be firing high explosive. So pretty much whatever Tanker does here, let's be honest, is maybe running a risk, because he doesn't have much health. And he's over here with a Conqueror, and the Conqueror doesn't have much health. And that Leopard and that Jaegeru both do have quite a lot of health, so this is potentially problematic. Going for a shot on... Oh, let's go for the Leopard. See if we can kill the Leopard. That would be nice. Jagdpanzer is looking this way. Oh, if the Jagdpanzer loads high explosive, Tanker is screwed. Come on, Jagdpanzer. What am I... Sorry, I don't mean that to encourage the Jagdpanzer. It's just I've got in the back of my mind that, well, part of me doesn't want this guy necessarily to be a complete scrub. Although, the Leopard is now dead. And the Conqueror somehow isn't. And the friendly auto-loading artillery is chipping the Jagdpanzer down, and Tanker tracked him, and so he's actually dead, and somehow the two tanks on low health beat the two tanks on lots of health. Blimey. Oh, and there's the artillery. Careful, he's got an auto-loader. Yeah. Okay, so someone is in the base. Wouldn't be surprised if it was that waffle thrower. He was the one we last saw, I guess, in the vague vicinity of the base. And if it was the artillery, there's no way he'd be able to loop a shell up there towards the Conqueror with the very flat shell trajectory you get with those French SPG guns. So, it's going to be the waffle thrower in the cap circle. This is a bit risky. Oh, there he is. I would not engage this fellow. I would just let artillery do what artillery does, assuming he's loaded. Or alternatively, let the Conqueror do the nasty. There we go. That worked. And he is done. That just leaves the enemy artillery, so we are going to speed this up a little bit as we attempt to hunt the fella down. Oh, no, okay, fair enough. Now, the timing here is a little bit dubious, but they have found the artillery, who actually managed to blat the friendly artillery in the face. There is not the time to cap this game out, unfortunately. There's only 1 minute 50 left on the clock. It would take 3 minutes 50 to cap because this is an encounter game. So they are now relying on that Conqueror and or Tanker to take out the Batchat. And that Batchat, well, it's mounted on a mobile tank. It's a fast blighter with a, at the time, 4-round 155mm autoloader. Even if the Conqueror were to drive all the way back to the capture circle, there would not be the time to cap. But Frabjuste, Kalu, Calais. That was no. But now he's stopped, presumably to aim at the Conqueror. And that means that he is going to get a whole lot of lovin'. 490 alpha damage, 490 hit points. It hit, it just didn't quite kill him. High explosive round might have done the job. 58 seconds left, and the Conqueror manages to finish him off, and there we go. That was the match. 127 health. Let's go and have a look at those post-game stats. In the end, that was good enough for Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Fire for Effect, Shell-Proof, Cool-Headed, Confederate Steel Wall, and High Caliber there for Tanker in his IS-7. Despite a really dodgy start, he managed to make a pretty nice comeback. 6,408 damage done, 2 kills, 1,231 base experience. Shout out should also go to the Friendly Conqueror, 3,292 damage, and he was not top tier of course, 5 kills, 1,340 base experience. Commiserations to the enemy ML2, and the Waffle Thrower, and the Bat Chat Artillery, nice, all of whom put in really respectable damage counts, but it wasn't quite enough for them to secure the win. 22 shots fired, 16 hits, 14 penetrations for that damage count, most of which was from relatively close range. 12 hits received, 6 pen, 6 didn't. 2,270 damage blocked by tanker's armour there. 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 10 damage, 2 destroyed, 1,792 assistance damage, 320 base capture points. And actually, I might have to take that back. 22 shots fired and ammunition resupply costs of 24,500 credits. Unless tanker already had a supply of premium ammunition built up, he did not fire any in that match. It was armor piercing, so a little bit lucky there against the E100 and against the ML2. But all the same, very nicely done. Even managed to make a profit on that match. And of course, 1,231 base experience becomes a fairly nice amount of XP from the game overall. One more match to show you in this video then. Third match in this video then, and it is courtesy of yours truly. Yay! This is me. We've dropped down a couple of tiers, so we've gone from the Type 4 at tier 9 and the IS-7 at tier 10. We're dropping down to tier 8, and we're in the KV-5, tier 8 Soviet premium tank. Not a tank you can buy in the tech tree or from the premium shop anymore, or at least not for regular sale, and you haven't been able to for some time. I've got a review of this tank up on my channel actually, and apparently it is due to get a little bit of a lovin' and get some buffs, which would be nice. So we are here in an assault game on the, I was about to say Siegfried line. This is not the Siegfried line, this is Derpenberg. I've actually also got a map tactics video. Tactics. You know that moment when you say a word enough and it doesn't sound right? Anyway, a map tactics video of this particular map if you are interested, because in my experience this is one of the worst played maps in the game. It's an assault match, and generally speaking, if you are on the defending team in an assault match and you go to the 1 and 2 lines, you are going to die. Which is why it is not very encouraging that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our team, about half of our team, have gone that exact way. Now, if they've taken a lot of tanks there, it might be that they don't die hideously. That is possible, though I would like to point out the scoreline is 0-2. That is entirely possible. We shall see how it works out. But how you generally want to play this map, if you are defending, storm down the 9 and 0 lines, smash everything down there in the face, and then go back to defend your base. If you do that competently, it is actually quite difficult for you to lose this match on the defending team. The problem is, there's one of you and 14 other people, and relying on all 15 people to have the faintest clue what they're doing. Well, yes. 0-3. Oh, 1-3! Go artillery! Yay! So I am not hanging around for anyone. It looks like most of the enemy team are on the 1 and 2 lines. There is not much for us to do down here on the 9 and 0 lines. So my plan is just to drive down here and smash everything in the face. I'm in a KV-5. I'm top tier. That's kind of how the KV-5 works. Hello, Mr. T29. You have tracked me. I have repaired my track. I care not for your shenanigans. Hello, Mr. TVP. Let's do you some nasty as well. And this is where we start, well, hoping that the rest of our team takes the hint and comes and follows suit. Otherwise, I'm just going to be here dealing with 2 tanks on my own. Scoreline's 1-5, just in case you were interested in paying any attention. TVP appears to have backed off a bit, so I am just going to put shot after shot in this T29. There we go. Oh, that one bounced. Boo! Boo and indeed hiss. The penetration on this gun is, not to put too fine a point on it, garbage. Thank you for driving into me, Mr. Hellcat. Thank you for driving into a 100-ton giant stationary target. GG. But there we go, T-29, TVP. The TVP is just about to die to the rest of our allies. The T-29 is dead. The KV-5 gets pretty good armour. You can see I haven't taken a single point of damage in that engagement. And whilst the gun is not what you'd describe as good, it does get pretty good DPM, all things considered. So, we have successfully smashed everything down the 9 and 0 line. Woot woot. However, you know all those tanks that went to the 1 and 2 lines, and I said going to the 1 and 2 lines was a death trap? Well, the scoreline's 3-7 and they're all dead. Seriously, this map plays out like clockwork pretty much every single time. I don't understand why people still play it wrong. Never mind. Okay, so what I'm going to do in my top tier heavy tank, I am going to drive over to this set of ruins that overlooks the capture circle. From here I can spot the bad guys, which will be nice. I can shoot the bad guys, I can decap, interrupt them capping our base. Spotting them means that our tank destroyers and artillery can shoot them, all that good stuff. I can get stuck in and actually do something useful. Take a shot on the move at the Type 58. I miss, but who cares? I'm far more interested in getting up towards the capture circle. Now, IS-3 just successfully shot me there, and he actually put a shot straight through the front of the turret of me tank. The turret front on the KV-5 is not fantastic. He was not, by the way, firing premium ammo or anything. That was just good old-fashioned regular armour piercing. So, we put a shot into that T-34-100. We execute that T-34-100. We're up to 3 kills, by the way. There's an IS-3 over there, and I am preloading an APCR round. APCR, well, your base penetration with armour piercing on this gun is 167. Not enough to really deal with the IS-3. 219 with APCR, though, and there we go, kill number 4. This APCR round into the Type 58 would be a waste, but the hell, it's what I've got loaded, so never mind. These APCR rounds were really for the IS-3, or the pair of IS-3s. I know someone else is capping, it might be that IS-3, and hello Mr. AT-7, again, it's what I've got loaded. I was going more for the track there just to get the decap in, and we seem to have been successful. Still got the APCR loaded because of those IS-3s, and completely missed the commander's hatch there because go figure. So I am actually firing a reasonable number of APCR rounds this match. I don't usually. There we go. And we switch back to armour piercing to deal with the AT-7 because we don't need it for the IS-3. In fact, paradoxically, I don't really need APCR for the IS-3 either. That's a point that we'll make at the end. You'll see what I mean. Scoreline is 9-9 now, by the way. We've made a bit of a comeback. Put another one into the AT-7 and he gets taken out. IS-3 comes round. It looks like he wants to join in the party. Party, party, party. Everyone likes to party. Take his track out. He does do some more damage to me, unfortunately. And I decide I'm going to load the APCR once again because I am planning to pop around the side of this building and punch the IS-3 in the face. However, it is not going to be necessary. Well, the APCR, I mean. So, we're going to go for the turret roof on the IS-3. Turret roof on the IS-3 is like 20 or 30 millimeters thick. So the 107mm gun I'm using will overmatch his turret roof. Those penetrations would happen firing armour piercing. Did not need APCR. I had the APCR in case I needed to go through the front of his tank, through that beak nose. In the end, I didn't. Armour piercing would have done the job nicely. And that is actually true of all the APCR rounds I have fired this match, of which I've fired 7, apart from 1. The 1 APCR round I used to kill that IS-3 I'm driving past right now, that probably, or that may not have worked with armour piercing, but the rest of them would have done. And this is actually, I find, a relatively interesting point. Firing APCR, but just kind of didn't need to. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, enemy tanks. The IKV has driven down the 9 and 0 lines. He is coming over to give us a hug or something. I mean, there's only 3 of them left at this point. We managed to hold out. We managed to secure the base. There is the IKV. Can we put a shot into this fellow? Nah, miss. This gun is not especially accurate. Oh, and our tank destroyer finishes him off. 2 minutes left on this match, and 2 artillery now to find. So I decided to load some high explosive and go and try and find them. Yay! Enemy artillery kills our Su-100 M1. And, well, let's just go and try and find these artillery. KV-5 is faster than you might expect. You do get up to your top speed, or you can get up to your top speed of 40 kilometers an hour, which is fairly nice. Come round the side, and we manage to find the enemy Lorraine. High explosive round, roll for 325, which is a low roll. I should actually have killed this guy, and that's going to be important in a moment. We do, however, manage to finish him off. Use our med pack to get rid of the stun from that AMX, and we're going to go looking for that last artillery piece. We're on 6 kills, by the way. This is our top gun, which is nice. Can we make it a 7th kill? There's 30 seconds left on this match. And there he is. Unfortunately, the high explosive round fails to penetrate. And because I'm stunned, my gun does actually load in time, and I then bounce on him because artillery armour is clearly overpowered. What the hell? Never mind, eh? What are you gonna do? Still got me top gun. So let's go and have a look at the post-game stats for this one. There we go. That was enough for Ace Tanker, Fire for Effect, Shell-Proof, Spotter, Duelist, Bruiser, Top Gun, Steel Wall, and High Caliber. Quite a nice haul of awards, especially as it looked like we were actually going to lose that one. 3,748 damage done, 6 kills, 1,594 base experience there in our lovely KV-5. 25 shots fired, 22 hits, 17 penetrations for that damage count, 13 hits received, 4 penetrated, 9 did not, for 2,500 damage blocked by our armour. 10 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 of them destroyed, 1,337 assistance damage, 56 base defense points. The only slightly disappointing thing about that match was, because I fired a few APCR rounds that ended up being pretty much useless, my ammunition resupply costs were not small. So I only made a 40,000 credit profit. Still respectable, but not as much as it could have been. That's with a standard account, of course, and a nice amount of experience. There we go then. I hope you guys enjoyed that video showcasing a selection of different heavily armoured higher tier machines. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.